KoitCast.
Today's guest has been researching the UFO phenomenon for more than 20 years. He is co-editor and columnist for UFO magazine and columnist for UFO Truth magazine. He's written many books on the subject, and today we'll be talking about his latest work, UFO Contacts in Brazil. Please give a huge Koit welcome to Thiago Ticchetti. Hi Thiago, and welcome to KoitCast.
Thank you very much, Koit. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is lush to have you here, so thank you for coming. Let's start with the old classic. Who are you? Where are you from? All that good stuff.
Well, my name is Thiago Ticchetti. I'm from Brazil. I'm 49 years old. Almost more than 30 years I've been studying the UFO phenomena here in Brazil. And now I'm the national director of MUFON in Brazil and editor of the Revista UFO magazine. And I wrote 15 books about the UFO phenomena. So I think I like this subject, don't you?
Yeah, it sounds like you're well versed in it, so this is going to be a good one. Okay, what was your personal introduction to the paranormal?
Well, I always say that the ufology. I was born with ufology in my blood. My father was a Brazilian Air Force pilot, and he loved the subject. And I think I got it from him because the first book I got, he got to me was the Chariots of the Gods from Eric von Däniken.
Oh yes, yeah.
And from there on, I start to read everything about UFO and strange phenomena and stuff like that.
Oh, amazing, amazing. It seems that most people that I know, and I'm at the same age as you, by the way, got into this subject at a very early age, always via books. Nothing else. Other than maybe a TV show like Star Trek or something that might have sparked an interest, but it just seems the very same sort of route into it. Let's talk about you from an investigation standpoint. What was your first investigation and why did you want to do it?
Well, it's not really an investigation, but it was my first sighting. I was 8 years old in 1982. I was living in Rio de Janeiro in a neighborhood called Barra da Tijuca. And I was living in a condominium, and I was with my friends and my brother, but my brother didn't recall that. And we were playing. It was night before 8 o'clock because I have to be at my house in 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock. And I saw a strange red light appear in the sky. Just appeared. Well, it was not a star. It's not a shooting star. It's not a satellite. It's a helicopter or airplane. My father was a pilot, and even I was 8 years old. I know how to distinguish between airplane and helicopter and balloon, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this red light just came in the sky and hovered a mountain called Pedra da Gávea and disappeared, just vanished. And moments later, I don't know how many minutes, this light appeared again, brighter or bigger. The red light, very bright or bigger red light, and it make a pendulum like a Z movement and disappear in the sky. From that on, it was not my first investigate case, but something in my mind just clicked on. Well, what was that? It was not a plane. And then I start to read, and then I start to investigate. And my first case was I was 19 years old. I was here in Brasilia, where I live now, and there was a film made by a TV crew here in Brasilia. They were coming back from a Palmas, a city in a state of Tocantins. They're coming back to Brasilia, and they saw a bright light in the sky, and many people watching that in the street. And they stop it, and the cameraman started shooting that. And the UFO made really, really weird movements, like up and down and speed and stop. And they gave us this recording I was part of a UFO group here in Brasilia. They gave us the recording, the tape, and we investigate, and we trying to solve it. We're trying to discover what was that. We're trying to use a kite. We tried to use balloon. We tried to use a, well, it was in 2001. There's no drones, no drones, and we could not try. We could not reply the thing.
Yeah, you couldn't
So
replicate it, that sort of thing.
yeah, replicate that thing. And well, our conclusion that was a UFO because there's no airplane that area, nor helicopter. There's no drone. There's no satellite. Nothing. And we trying to replicate that, replicate that, but we couldn't. So it was my first case.
Amazing, amazing. And it's a strange question here, but did you enjoy that investigation?
Yes, a lot, a lot. I love to investigate. So
Quality.
because I want there's the famous phrase in the X-Files series. I want to believe. I don't want to believe. I want to investigate because
Ah,
belief brings you to a religion's, you know, mind, a conception of a religion. I don't want to believe. I want to investigate. So every case that I investigate, for me, it's amazing.
which leads me perfectly to my next question, which was what drives you? Is it the chase of the mystery, the science of the investigation, or wanting to know the bigger picture?
Oh, I think all of this, all of this. I love the mystery, of course, because it's something that we don't know, and in the at the bottom, deep in my soul, let's say that I want to know what I saw when I was 8 years old. What was that? So that is mystery, and science. Because why science? Because I can stand why understand why the scientists they don't look for the UFO phenomena. Imagine if you can prove that we are not alone in the universe, you're gonna win the Nobel Prize. So I don't know. So I like the science because with the science we can explain. We have the evidence, and I think that the two things together, I think is the reason that we investigate UFO phenomena.
Yeah. And with the science thing and with scientists, I think you know the answer why they won't go for it is because ridicule is a powerful, powerful tool. And we, for some reason, we can't get out of the shame or weirdness aspect of the social nature of people having a go at us. Science should be more powerful than that, but it isn't.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I'm not scientist. I'm not
No,
scientist.
of course, but you understand the wider picture why the main scientists don't get involved because
Yes.
they want to be in their steady lane of getting their funding and stuff, which is daft because if they did, like you say, if they came out of it and then investigated scientifically the UFO cases, Nobel Prizes and blah, 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 and just think humanity would take a huge leap forward.
Yes, and I think that's why the government have this uh, uh, closure. That's the secrecy about the phenomena. Because imagine today we have a TV news saying that, well, we discovered that we have been visited by extraterrestrial beings, and they are from planet X. What's gonna happen? It's gonna happen. We're gonna change everything about us, about humanity, because we're gonna start to ask, well, if they are here since when?
And who
So
knows? Yeah.
they were here to help us, to destroy us. Why are they here? So many questions.
But do you look forward to that day, though, if that ever happens? Do you want that day to
Yes,
come?
yes. I don't think I'm gonna be alive when that comes. My my
I
son,
think the same.
my daughter, they're gonna leave with the the visitors.
I just think it's a slow process of like little steps over time. Such a long period of time that all the people die out, all the people that are holding on the secrets, they age out, so they never get blamed. That's how it's going to work, I
Yeah,
think.
I agree. I agree. I think that Richard Dolan wrote an amazing book, AD After Disclosure, and he make several scenarios. Uh, what's going to happen in economy, energy, politics, government if we confirm the existence and the visit of the extraterrestrial. And they say, well, the three types of disclosure. One is a full disclosure. They're gonna show you everything, things from the past, everything. They're gonna show you. The partial disclosure. Well, from that point forward, never back. And in the allied disclosure, they're gonna keep what they're doing. In my opinion, they're gonna be a partial disclosure from that point. And that point for me, in my opinion, was in 2018 with the leaked 3 videos of Pentagon. From there, we are seeing, we are watching this. The congressmen in the United States are pressuring the government and the military. Well, we have to give us the answers of what we have in the sky in the ocean. So I think there's going to be a partial disclosure from 2018 forward.
I also agree with you, by the way, but I just think it's going to be a long,
Along,
long
yeah,
time frame.
along, yeah,
I
along.
don't think that, say, if America tomorrow decided, boom, here's a shed load of stuff, I don't think that the UK government, the Germans, Russians, and everyone else would just immediately pass it out. They would hold on for a lot longer and things like that.
Yeah, because you have the national security matter.
Mm.
We just you just can't confirm that. Well, they have to study first what they're gonna release. By the way, well, we have a UFO destroy one of our airplane. They're never gonna say that. They're never gonna say that.
No, I
So they
agree.
have when the United States decide, if they decide to release to confirm, you and I, we are sure that they are studying that for a long time and choose what they're gonna release. Many things they never gonna talk about.
Will it be the United States doing it first, or will another government, like the Brazilian one, as an example, jump in first?
Well, the Brazil, we have some secrecy documents here, of course, but the Brazilians very open to that. We have thousands of documents in National Archive here in Brazil, uh, but Brazil is not a power nation of a UFO research. We don't have an agency that we don't have a department. We don't have a section that investigate this phenomena. We have a bigger problems to deal with, and we don't have the ambitious. It's a shame, but the size of the country and the thousand of cases we have here, we don't have the ambitions to be the country. They're gonna, well, here we will confirm. I think it's the United States or maybe China, Russia, the bigger nation, the countries that they're gonna go forward to be the first one to confirm it. And I think it's gonna be United States.
Yeah, I'd probably lean towards it being the United States because they seem to be going through this whole transparency thing at the moment. Um, the reason I also asked that question was to wonder if the Americans are putting pressure on other countries to hold it back so that they can be the first to release, or just hold it back in general. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think that the United States had more influence in the past. Now I think the world's the world changed a lot. We had the capitalism and the socialism. Now we that thing, we still have this, but change it. We have the Soviet Union. You're the
Hmm.
boss of the socialism, and United States boss of the capitalism. Now I think with the end of the Soviet Union, I don't think that United States have that power to 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 ask to tell what the other country have to do. Of course, they have the influence, but not in the like the past. And if Brazil wants to disclosure their documents, I don't think the United States is gonna do something to stop it.
Fair play. So they're not going to give you a slap and say no, none of that.
No, Dad said no.
Stop it, you naughty Brazilians. Yeah, they won't be doing that. Let's get back to you and your books. So, what made you want to write books rather than, say, moving into films or documentaries?
Well, the first book that I wrote was about the UFO crashes. I saw, well, I have here in my office, in my house, I have almost a thousand of books of UFOs, hundreds of magazines, and but in Portuguese, back in 1998, when I started to buy books from Amazon since 1998, there's no many books in Portuguese. So I think, well, why not write books in Portuguese about the UFOs to understand more, I understand more, and give the opportunity to other people that don't speak in English or Spanish or French or Italian to have access to information that we don't have here in Brazil. So that's why I start as a way to investigate, to get knowledge, of course, and to give the opportunity to other people to understand what's going on about ufology in another country and learn more about ufology.
That's a good thing. So you're actually doing it to give back in a way or pass on.
Yes,
Fair
yes.
play to you.
I will die. Everybody's gonna die.
No, you're not. I thought
And
you were going to live forever.
and I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave my son. I'm gonna leave my legacy, and my books is my my books are my legacy as well. So it's my way to contribute in some way with the humankind, the UFO research.
Oh, fair play to you. Good on you. Your new book, UFO Contacts in Brazil. What is the synopsis behind this, besides the obvious, because it clearly says it in the title, and why the need for the book?
Well, the Brazilian cases are very known in outside of Brazil, but they're old cases from the 60s, 70s, 40s, 50s. And I was talking with Philip Mantle, who's my friend from the UK, the publisher, the editor of my book, of course. And he told me, Thiago, why don't you write a book about the Brazilian chronology of sightings from the past to the present? Because we know the Brazilian has great cases, but outside of Brazil, we don't have much information about Virginia, about Operação Prato, about the night UFOs and official nights of UFOs. We just heard about it, but we don't have details of them. So I got I like the idea, and I started to write. I made a research, and I started to write from the past, and the book covers until 2015, 2015. So a lot of cases, and my intention was to show outside of Brazil what we have and what you don't know. You know about the Vilas Boas, you know about Ubatuba, great cases, but we don't know the case where a man was melted after our encounter with a UFO. You don't know a lot about Virginia. You don't know a lot about the Operação Prato plate operation. So it was an opportunity to show you how big, but how big is the ufology in Brazil?
Yeah, no, that's fair play. And I thought it might go down that route because if you look at most countries, there's probably huge cases in each country that they know about that we don't, and vice versa. So yeah, crossing that bridge, if you will, is a good thing. So well done on writing that book. I like the idea of it. Now I've obviously heard of the Virginia case. I actually watched the James Fox documentary. Presumably, you've seen that.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Great
it's a
friend.
good documentary. Besides that Varginha case, do you think? Well, first off, do you think that's the best case in Brazil?
Whoa, it's a tough question because to choose a case in Brazil, Virginia. Well, the Virginia is a different type of case in Brazil. It's a UFO crash, but we have the plate operation where the militaries investigated cases in north of Brazil. The UFOs were attacking people in the north of Brazil. Amazing case. We have the official night of UFOs in 1986, where more than 22 UFOs were chased by 5 jet fighters from Brazil. So Virginia is one of the biggest cases in Brazil, of course, but we have plenty of great cases as well.
Okay, let's hit down both of those two other examples you've given because the one where the UFOs are attacking people, I believe I've heard of. But would you mind running through that story? Um, and then I'll think, yeah, that is the one I know about because there's more to this than I've heard before, I believe.
Yeah, the plate operation, well, started when people from several cities in the north and northeast of Brazil, like in Pará state and Maranhão state, they have been attacked by UFOs or aerial machines because they describe several types of UFOs of it was not airplanes. The vehicles that they saw, and those attacks happen during the night, the day, the dawn. It doesn't matter. So the people got in panic, and the mayors of the city get in touch with the Brazilian Air Force. They say, well, something is attacking us, come from the sky. The sky is your problem. You're the Air Force.
Yeah.
So the Brazilian Air Force sent a group, a team, led by Captain Holanda, to investigate. And they went to some cities in Pará state, like Colares, like Barcarena, to investigate what's going on. And many cities were just like ghost town because there's no one there. The the people left the town, and where the people still stood in the city, well, 6 o'clock, everybody got home, closed the windows, shut the doors. But even doing that, the UFO, what that thing were, they stood over the house and shoot a laser beam and hit the people through the ceiling. Doesn't matter. Just hit the man in the leg, on the neck, and the woman under the breast or the arm on the leg. And this military, this team, the operation was called the Operation Plate, Operação Prato in Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed several witnesses. They got more than 200 of photos, professional photos, and made more than 22 hours of videos of the UFOs. And this happened from September 1977 to December 1977, when the operation was closed, and the Captain Holanda never know why, but now, years later, we know that after the operation was closed, the American sent a team or military or agents to investigate, and they stayed in their city, investigate until 1982, from
Oh, crikey.
77 to 82, 5 years inside the Brazilian jungle, the Brazilian cities, investigating this phenomena. So now we have access, after years, and a campaign that the Revista UFO and the Brazilian Commission of Ufologists We began in 2005 to release these documents. We now have more than 2,000 pages about the operation. We have hundreds of photos, of official photos, because newspaper reporters and journalists from newspapers in Pará, they took photos of the UFOs as well. So we have several hundreds of photos and reports, official reports, but we don't have the films, Koit. The films are missing. And in my opinion, I was there in January with a TV crew to shoot a series to Netflix,
Hmm.
to get in touch with the witnesses, investigate what was happening there in 1977. And they told me that these videos were taken by the Americans. So the videos, the hard evidence, were now in American possession. So we're still looking for it, and I don't think we have it here.
That is such a shame. An amazing case. I mean, you don't often hear of attacks, do you, by UFOs in the wider scheme of things? You normally
No,
hear just there
no.
they are in the sky or an abduction or something, but not direct physical attacks. It's very
Yes,
strange.
yeah, that happened. Well, I was in January. I was there with George Knapp. George Knapp
Oh, cool.
is the host of this program. I was there with him, and he asked me that, Thiago, what do you think about this case, the whole case? I think, George, was a UFO wave, but I never heard something like that in any country of the world. The UFO attacking people and
Hmm.
it suck. And when the people they attacked, they went to a doctor. Sorry,
It's okay.
they went to Dr. Wendell Velaide, Dr. Velaide, and she discovered that the people got anemia. So when they were hit, their laser beam sucked the iron from the blood, and people got anemia. So why they are sucking blood and iron from the victims? One of the victims died because of that. Officially, just one died, but now we were there. We heard that more people probably died, but never got official.
Hmm.
So this case is unique in the world, in my opinion. I never heard.
Yeah, I was speaking to Steve Mira, and I refer to him a lot, but we covered it a lot in our conversations. I've had two with him about this case, actually, and the iron content of the blood. And I didn't know this anemia thing before with this case. And he says that if you have more iron in your blood, it's almost like a way of stopping paranormal attacks or, attachments or whatever you want to call it. Has that been looked at with this case?
Yeah, I had once opportunity to talk Dr. Velaide, and now she doesn't want to talk about it. And she told me that, Thiago, I'm pretty sure that what happened was real because she saw a UFO during the day at noon. She saw a UFO, a disc-shaped UFO, over a village over her, and told me, I saw that thing, and I received the page and the people that have been attacked, and what happened? The people got anemia. I don't know if they got anemia before. They told me they won't or sick before, just after the attack. So the conclusion of the Dr. Velaide was, yes, this thing, the UFO or something like that, what it was, they were attacking people and sucking the blood. And one of the witnesses that we found in January, uh, he told us, I have the video of his report to me. He saw a UFO attacking a woman, and after they shoot the laser beam, and after they took it off the laser beam. The laser beam is just like a snake, a serpent, spitting blood, just like World of Wars.
Weird.
So very, very, very weird. So
Yeah, highly
the
weird. Yeah.
intention, we don't know what happened. So the laser was solid, but also it's like I don't know, like a line, something like that, like a needle that got in a people in a people body, and just take it out and spitting in blood while it's getting back to the UFO. So
Which
we we
then,
we
yeah, which then
don't
throws
have
up the
the answer for
question:
that.
what do they want to use our blood for?
I don't know. I don't know why they're using our DNA. Why they abducting people? Why they're here? We don't know. They are
Why don't
questions
you know
that
these answers?
I want to know this answer. I'm researching for that.
Yeah, I know. I want to know the answers to this one as well. So, but a couple more questions, right? So, in theory, the attacks happened between September and December of '77, right? In theory,
Officially,
and
yeah.
did they officially stop then? Was that what it was? They sort of like faded out. Then there were no more official attacks.
No, the attacks continue.
I know you said
Captain
about the people
Orlando.
there till '82, but that window of the 3 months, was it like, oh, we've closed the door, yeah, there's no more attacks, but secretly there were, sort of thing?
No, the attack to keep it.
Ah,
They still being attacked, and it doesn't matter if you shut the windows or the door. The attack was there for 3 months, and people were in the beach with fire guns and the fireworks to try to avoid this UFO, but they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. And I was in Colares. I went to Colares in January,
mhm.
and the city embraced that the what happened to them, and the city now is like a UFO point, because you have a alien bar, you have an alien beach, you have a sightings, and the market is embraced the what happened to them was very, very bad things, but they get used to live with that,
Yeah,
and that the sightings, the cases is still going on, not attacking, but the sighting of the UFOs in north of Brazil, in Colares, for example, is still going on.
that's weird, isn't it, that a town celebrates abuse in that
Yes,
way?
that's correct. They celebrate the abuse. Yes, yes.
Mm.
Well, the Brazilian, we are Brazilian, man. We got the lemon and make a
Gotta make some of
lemonade.
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
They do the
we have a
same
lemon
in
and make a lemonade.
they do the same in Roswell, don't they? Crash there, let's make some
Yes,
money off it. I
yes.
understand human need for chasing money, but the attacks are a weird thing, and also obviously with the that American government agency staying there for 5 years. If there was nothing there, why would you be there 5 years?
That's
It don't make
perfect.
sense, does it?
And and,
Yeah.
and Carlos Mendes was he's a journalist, and he was the main journalist to cover this attacks in 1977. He went even further than the Brazilian Air Force group. He went to small cities and talked to people, and many times he was there before the militaries arrive. And he told me in his book as well. He said about that he was in a newspaper, and a Peruvian guy just appeared. Oh, I'm from Peru. I want to learn how the newspaper works here in Brazil. La la la. He discovered that that guy was an agent from the CIA to steal the photos and documents from the newspaper. And the owner of the newspaper was threatened by the Brazilian militaries and American agents to give all the photos and documents to them. And at first, he said no. We are a newspaper, we have to show it, we have to publish it. And the second time, we don't know why, and Carlos don't know why, they gave everything to them. So if nothing happened there, what the interest?
Exactly, and why the need to chase after things. It throws up this question for me, right? And I know this is the theoretical you can't answer again, but I want to ask it anyway. Are the Americans good guys in this scenario? Because in theory, there could be a wider thing going on and they're protecting people, or are they the evil ones, obfuscating?
Oh, if you if you get if you get the Hollywood movies, they are good guys. They're protecting theirs. They're
Yeah,
protecting
yeah,
us.
Hollywood.
But you are stealing. Well, if you don't have a corporation, official corporation, okay, to have a corporation, you have to do what you have in the paper. But if you don't have this corporation, they just come here and steal things. They're bad guys, of course. They're trying to manipulate the history in another country. And we know what happened. We know that the United States do that. We know that. But in this case of Operação Prato, the plate operation, I think they were here to get our information to get back with them. So, in my opinion, in this case, they're bad guys.
Cool. Uh, yeah, I expect as much. Um, have you ever heard of another case around the world, or even in Brazil, where this opera, what's that, modus operandi from the UFOs is the same? So where, UFOs are coming and attacking people and taking blood, or with that laser. Have you heard of this before anywhere else?
No, no. As I told you, Koit, I have. Of course, I don't read. I didn't read all of them. I have almost a thousand of books here, and I talk and speak with a lot of ufologists around the world, and I ask them. They never had this case of attacking a massive attack. We have a case that well, people are being shot by UFO or of a laser beam. Okay, is a point, but a massive attack never happened. Even if you go to the past, you don't have this type of attack. It's so weird, and it never happened again. Never happened again. Well, we had year 1 year ago, 1 year and a half ago, people in Peru saying that the Indian people have been attacked by jackpacked alien with in a jungle. It's a weird as well. But I spoke with federal police. It's a FBI of Brazil, friend of mine. They said, Thiago, what happened is they're drug dealers and human dealers. So they are there to do the things. And when the Peruvian Indians, went there, they have to put them away. So I think there's not extraterrestrial. In my opinion, is a drugstore, drug dealers.
Yeah, I understand. The cattle mutilation scenario.
Yes.
That's the nearest, isn't it? I think then we can get where beams are coming in almost and like stuff is taken. Do you think after this case in Brazil, there was almost an intervention and then they suddenly moved on to cattle mutilation? Do you think that's what it was?
No, because cattle mutilation starting back in the 60s in the United States. And here in Brazil, we don't have a case about cattle mutilation.
Okay.
We have chupacabra cases here in Brazil, in the south of Brazil. But cattle mutilation, no. The Skippy, I think it's Skippy, the horse, the first one to get the news, I think was happening in the 70s, in the early 70s or the mid 70s. And the plate operation was in 77. I don't think they Well, we don't want to cut cattle anymore. Let's cut people now. I don't think so.
Yeah, I just wondered if it is the same phenomenon and there is some overlap.
No, I
Could
don't
be.
think so, because in cattle mutilation they cut the flesh, uh, parts of organs. In this case, we just, well, not just, well, but
Yeah,
was
just
sucking blood.
vampiric. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something in history as well with, like the vampire phenomenon, whether that is related again in some way, or am I just grasping at straws?
Yeah, I like the stories about vampires, and well, many of the folklore tales, not vampire, because Dracula was a person, we know
Yes.
that, but many of the folklore were is created by some fact. Here in Brazil, we have a rich folklore. We have the Water Mother. We have the Boitatá, Curupira. What is that? Ball of lights that chase people in the jungle. Ball of lights that came out of the lagoons, river, and ocean. So in some time, one person or several persons saw the things, and to explain that, they create a myth, a
Hmm.
folklore. So I'm not saying that vampire are a UFO, okay, extraterrestrials sucking blood, but as I said, never heard about a massive case like that in another part of the world.
No, nor have I. It's a very, very strange case, and there's going to be a shed load, billions of people in the world that don't know it. And that's a shame,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because we need to know this as a human collective, so you can start thinking, why, how can we defend all these sort of things?
Yes, I agree. That's why I wrote the book, to get information about this. Well, as I said, you know about the case, but you never heard the details of the case. And we have here in Brazil many cases that were the very important and interesting case in a weird case that you don't know. So that's why I wrote this book, to give you a little glimpse of the ufology in Brazil.
Excellent. You mentioned another case besides this one and the Varginha case earlier. Could you also go over that one? I can't remember which one it was.
Oh yeah, it was official night of the UFOs. In
That's it.
Portuguese,
That's the one.
Noite Oficial dos UFOs. Was in May of 1986, when several cities in Brazil are reporting lights in the sky, and we reach a point that there was more than 20 UFOs in the sky, pilots were seeing this, and the control towers were detecting on the radar, and well, the Brazil was under attack. They thought that Brazil was under attack. The aerospace of Brazil are full of UFOs. We don't know. They're playing. They didn't know. And the Brazilian force departed of 5 jets, uh, two Mirages and two Mirages and three F5 supersonic jets. And three pilots saw the UFOs. The captain back that time was Tenant Jordan. He was in his F5, and he reported to the traffic control, the control in the ground. Well, now I have 6 UFOs in my left, 7 in my right. So he was there to chase and identify the object, but they're playing cat and dog, because when they start to get closer to the UFO seemed like stop waiting for him, and when he get close, the UFO just speed away, playing with their planes. And this took more than 5-6 hours, and the aircraft were out of fuel, and well, have to return to the base. And they return to the base, and the UFOs start keeping just appearing sometimes, and then disappear. And many people say, well, could it be airplane from another country? Okay, another country. Okay, but in 1986 was an airplane from any country that get more than 20,000 kilometers per hour. No.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's something, well, it could be stars. Okay, people in the ground, people in a tower, in a control tower, they saw UFOs just almost land in the landmark in the airport, 2 UFOs. And the people in the ground saw a UFO with over than 100 meters over a mountain here called Serra da Beleza. So they're not planets. They're not ice. They're not shooting star. They're not satellites. They're not
It's not
drones.
swamp gas. Yeah.
No smoke gas, swamp gas. No, no. So what happened? And the next day, the Ministry of Brazilian Air Force, they make a press conference and put all the pilots in a table and gave the opportunity to all the that never happened before. All the journalists had the opportunity to ask to the pilots what happened there, and all the pilots said, "Well, we don't know. That thing was out of this world because we cannot identify. We have a good jets, but we are nothing compared to that object." And in a report, is a pre-offshore report. In the conclusion, the Brazilian Air Force said that thing were controlled by intelligent matter. So it's not artificial. It's not a natural thing. It was controlled by something. And since then, since 1986, we don't have the answer. And we know that at least one of the airplane had a camera that filmed the UFOs, but where are the film? We don't know as well.
That seems like a common story, doesn't it? Where are the films?
Yeah, the hard evidence. We never get the hard evidence.
That's annoying. Did all those pilots record, say that the UFOs all looked the same?
No, different size, different shapes. The most part of them are around, but different size. One had a meter's diameter, the other had hundreds of meters. So very different types.
Were they, say, like you had pilot A and pilot B? Did pilot A see all the same and then pilot B see different ones, or are they mixed across each pilot?
No, they were scrambled to chase different UFOs. They were
Yeah.
not side by side.
No, but
And
say let's just take
what they
pilot A. Let's just take pilot A. Did he see all
yes,
circles? That's an example, or did he see
yeah.
a mixed craft?
No, they see circles. The pilots only see circles from
Ah,
different shapes. And the people on the ground saw a huge cylinder object over a mountain. And people in control in one of the airports in São José dos Campos, they saw the 2 rounded UFOs almost landing in the landmark of the airport. So they saw different shapes. The pilots saw different shape, different size, but the same shape.
it's weird, isn't it? What do
And
you?
the most weird, one of the most weird things was in some occasions the pilot said, "Well, I saw 3 UFOs in my left, and the control I see nothing in my radar," and vice versa. The control tower said, "Well, we have 2 UFOs over you," and the pilots look up. There's nothing over me. So it's weird.
It throws up so many questions that because it makes you think: is there a perceptual angle going on? I.e., a person looking at it sees something different to somebody else.
Probably,
It's weird.
they were flighting in a supersonic speed, and the people in the ground could be something in another location, saw something different. But what happened there never got explained. Never got explained by the Brazilian Air Force.
If you had to put your money on it, And what is it you have? Is it reals? What do you have? I can't.
It's real,
Yeah,
real.
it's real.
My father was a Brazilian Air Force pilot, and I asked him sometimes, a couple of times, and he didn't like to talk about it because he was a military. But he said to me that happened. That happened. We don't know what it was, but happened. It was
Oh,
solid. It's
I agree. It
real.
happened. These stories wouldn't come out like this with all these, witnesses if it didn't happen. What I'm interested in is what people think everything is. So, if you had to put all of your reals on it, what would you say the intentions of this intelligence were or was?
Well, in my opinion, they are extraterrestrial from another planet. In a universe, they had the thing. They have the technology to travel through the space, wormholes. I don't know, but they have the technology, and they're here to watch us. Because if they want to destroy us, they could do it. Because we cannot. Different from Hollywood movies, we're never gonna be able to avoid an invasion. It's impossible. It's impossible unless we destroy all the planet with nuclear missiles. But in my opinion, there are extraterrestrial. There are a lot of theories, and they are here to watch us. I don't know if they're here to watch us because they create us. I don't know, but they're here just to watch and do what they have to do. They have their agenda, and then go home.
I find it weird. I like the theory of the Watchers, by the way, because it makes sense. If we found life somewhere else, we'd look at it, we'd be there to study it, etc. Where it becomes weird is where the interaction takes place, because that means then they're not here just to watch; they're here to interact. What is the point of that interaction other than to say, "Hi, we're alive"?
Great question, Koit. Because we are not have been visited by one species, one race of extraterrestrial. I wrote a book is a guide of alien typology,
Hmm.
and I made a research with more than 16,000 cases, and I got a conclusion that at least 72 types of aliens have been visited the planet, and they're different shapes, they're different forms. They're here. Maybe some are here to watch. Maybe some are here to abduct. Say maybe some are here to collect blood or cattle mutilation or just appear or just tell us save the planet, stop the war, destroy your nuclear weapons. We don't know. In my opinion, several types of extraterrestrials are here doing their agenda.
And I would kind of agree with that. I see. I've been pondering the paranormal subject as a whole, with a load of people. They're all saying it's the same thing, right? One paranormal phenomenon acting with different guises, wearing different costumes, right? But part of me still thinks that if this 3D world is real, right, and all the planets and the heavens and universe, there would have to be life out there, and they would have the same desire to come to us as we would to go to them, right? So I still think, yes, the varied alien phenomenon is real, but we got no way of proving it, have we?
No, we cannot prove. We cannot prove. I was reading a news now today. In the morning, I read the news about the theory of reality. That the reality is a simulation.
Mm.
That reality is a simulation. Gain more power in a physics quantic matrix. I'm
Yes,
not
the
saying that
Matrix film. Yeah.
I'm not a believer of matrix. I'm not. I'm not this type
Are you
of
not the one? Are you not Neo?
yeah, I'm not Neo. So we don't know. The paranormal for me, I think is linked with the ufology of UFO phenomena. in some way, I didn't discover in which way, but in some way they are ghosts and extraterrestrial beings. I think they're in some way they are connected, but I didn't have the answer for the question.
Yeah, you just don't know how it's all linked, but it is
Yes,
somewhere. There is some measure of overlap. Let's just put it that way.
yes, yes.
Of that, when you investigated, right, the typology, um, a good word, typology, so you get points for that. But what is the most common from your research that exists? Is it the alien grey, or is it something else?
Well, if you see in the past, the common was the Nordic, like you, the
Beautiful,
blue
yeah.
eyes, beautiful blue eyes, white skin and blonde hair. It was in the 16th and 17th.
Bit grey now.
Me too. And at the beginning of the 80s and 90s, the grays just appeared from the Bud Hopkins and David Jacobs and Stryber. And from the 2000, the year 2000, we start to have the insectoids. Praise God. And the lizards from the 2010. But nowadays, my last book was released in 2023, and my research ended in September of 2023. Now we have the lizards and the insectoids and the grays that share 25 for each in reports, and the rest of the 25 for the rest of the types. So these three, grays, insectoids, and lizards, are the most common. And we know that the culture, affect your reports and something like that. But based on my research, the three types are grays, lizards, and insectoids now in the present.
Makes sense because that's all I hear anyway. It's interesting to think, is it, like you mentioned, culture? Is it culture, and is it our knowledge of the zeitgeist of aliens that, oh, suddenly there's reptilians, so now we're seeing more of them. Suddenly there's greys, and now we're seeing more of them. Does that kind of indicate or suggest in a way that it is related deeply with our psyche and conscious that then drives that experience in that form?
Of course, of course. That's why the reports are more reality. Is more, yes, reports from people who don't have access to the media, to the big media, are more valuable because they don't have this thing put in their brain. They don't have they are not contaminated by the culture.
Yeah.
So of course, many cases that I have to receive and study from film photos and reports, many I can explain. And the first question, have you heard about UFO before? Oh yes, I watch all the movies, I see all the cartoons, I read all. For me, it's a step. Well, this person could be real, but you know,
Mm.
their they conceive, their thinking, their mind are contaminated by the media.
Yeah, I see where that's going. The insectoids intrigue me a lot, right? Because you hear of the praying mantises, but why do
Yeah.
they all seem to be the doctor praying mantis? Why isn't there a different type of praying mantis? Why is it always that same one in the background being evil?
It's interesting because the mantis, in many of report, they are just like the leader or the doctor. And in the
Mm.
past, we had the grays. The grays were the people that were you are in the table and you open your eyes, there you are surrounded by grays. And now, from the research from Dr. David Jacobs and others, but mainly Dr. David Jacobs, he told me, Thiago, I don't know where that come from. I was here with him in 2017 here in Brazil. We are in the same Congress here in Brazil. And Thiago, the most part of my patients are still talking about grace. But a couple of years ago, they start to talk about the insectoids, the mantis. And they don't know how to explain it. I ask him, what they are there? Oh, they're the leader. They are the one that touch me and make me calm, chill me out. So I think that we're still figuring out what the mantis is, what the whole in the scenario. I think it's in my. I don't have a affirmative answer for that. They are doing something, and I got reports in my book research that abducted said, well, I was in a room with mantis and grays at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. They're association of aliens doing the job. They cutting, they have to cut money to travel in the universe. So let's some like international mission in space. Well, you Grace do something, the Mets do something. I don't know. It's for me, the abduction is very weird because of that. They are now putting together several types of aliens.
Yeah, it's quite common that now, isn't it? I've spoken to a
Now,
number of abductees who say, yes, when I was aboard, there was this, and this, and then that makes you think, well, what are you on, a Star Trek vessel?
yeah, yeah. So just like Star Trek, I'm Star Wars fan. So okay, but I understand
I'm
Star
both.
Trek.
I'm both. So you can't offend me. And by the way, what's that? Is that a big glass of vodka? Yeah.
No, it's a water. It's a water. No, no. 9 o'clock in Brazil, drink vodka. At 11, start to drink caipirinha.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds alcoholic.
You're invited to come to Brazil and present to caipirinha.
I would love to come to Brazil, but it's a lot of reals, isn't it? It's a lot of this sort of stuff to get there.
Man, pounds is much better than reals. You can for a bunch of pounds, you can come to Brazil.
Yeah, when you say a bunch of them, a lot of them. Price of travel these days is through the roof, my friend. ET attacks in general, other than that lasery one, what other stories do you have of ET attacks that you would consider an actual attack rather than an accident?
Yeah, we have here in Brazil. We have some of the cases where
Vodka.
where people have been attacked by a light, and we have a very interesting case here in Brazil, in Araxá, where a man and his wife arrived to his house. He's living in a farm, and the farm had an airport, a private airport. He worked at that farm, and he saw a disc-shaped UFO landed in the airport, the land of the airport, and they saw three entities, beings playing around the UFO, and he got his fire gun, and he trying to get closer to it, didn't find what was going on. He didn't know it was a plane or something. He was very humble, and he said, "What you're doing here?" And suddenly, a green laser beam hit him in the chest, and it fell out. His wife got his shoot gun and started to shoot, and the aliens just get back in the UFO and left. And the man got sick for 3, 4 4 weeks, and then he recovered. But it was not an attack, deliberate attack. I think was to protect the other one, the extraterrestrials that were landing, playing around the UFO.
It's an interesting one, though, isn't it? Did she hit them?
No, she didn't hit him, and just the laser beam hit the man, but his wife just shoot to the air to try to escape.
That's another weird one, though, isn't it?
There are many weird cases in Brazil. We have other case where a man in a storage fought with an alien. He was a security.
Yeah.
And he was checking the perimeter like a routine, and he saw a figure, a shadow, big shadow, and he thought it was a thief, and he went there. There's no gun, just his arm, and he went there, and he saw was a huge entity. It's like a man, but he wearing a helmet and a suit, cover all the body, his body, and the entity attack him first, and he trying to get away. And they start to fight, and then appear two other extraterrestrial, and the four of them are fighting, and I'm gonna die because they are three stronger. And suddenly they stopped, and they took his hand and raised him up, a little tap in the shoulder, like said, "Good fight," and they left.
And when you say they left, did they just walk away, or did they get in a craft
Walk
that he saw
away.
it?
No, they walk away, and what he saw later, few seconds later, was a spaceship, like a flying disc shape, just raising and disappearing in space, in the sky.
That is another weird one. If he hadn't have tacked on that bit at the end about the spaceship coming up, you'd have thought, well, it's just people in the area with random costumes taking a piss, wouldn't you?
Yes, just let's have some fun, let's fight a little.
Yeah. Did he say what they're bipedal, arms and legs like
Yes, like a
normal
woman,
people?
like a human being, like a human being. But
And
wearing
and
a
the
helmet,
outfits.
he couldn't see the face because wearing a helmet, and had arms and legs and everything.
What does that wearing a helmet suggest? Does that suggest they couldn't breathe our air, or does that suggest it's someone hiding?
Yeah, great, Koit. We have types of aliens that don't use a helmet, and some do. The Antonio Villas-Boas case, the aliens were wearing a helmet when they took Villas-Boas to the spaceship. Inside the spaceship, they were not wearing a helmet, so they cannot breathe oxygen, or I don't know, they cannot breathe in our atmosphere. And I have several cases that the entity just appeared. The Nordics didn't wear a helmet. They were just like us. If you walk in a crowd, you never know that he is an alien. So I think that's why I think that we are visited by several types of extraterrestrials. One use a helmet, others don't use so.
Yeah. That Villas-Boas case, right? Obviously, if he was taken to their ship and they had a helmet on and they took it off while on the ship, he didn't have one on, so it couldn't have been a different atmosphere unless he was in a pocket of different atmosphere. Is that?
Yeah, I think that inside, well, maybe like our airplane, we can breathe in an airplane because we have the pressure air in airplane. If you lose that, you have to use a mask. So I think that the Villas-Boas case, the aliens could not breathe our oxygen or air, and inside the spacecraft they can breathe normally, so there's no difficult for them.
Let's take abduction as a whole, right? What would you say it's for? Because most of the people that we hear these stories about, they have an experience, some sort of medical scenario is performed on them, and then they're returned, suggesting that overall it's not truly nefarious. It seems more study. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, abduction for me is a big question. I do believe that there are abduction, but I don't know the purpose of that. I heard several explanations from several great specialists like Bud Hopkins, David Jacobs, John Mack. They are the abductions to understand how we development, how we work. They put some implants to track us, to know how we are, our health, or they're here to put a fetus in the woman and then take it off, make it a hybrid race. In Brazil, we don't have a lot of cases of abduction. We have a
Ah,
lot. Yeah, we do have, but it's not common here in Brazil, like United States. And in the UK, we don't heard about the abduction in the UK. We hear about abduction in the United States. So that's a question for me, for you, for the listeners. Uh, why only United States? That's well, we can have an example. The plate operation that happened in Brazil. Why only in Brazil? Happened only in Brazil. Why abduction happened the most part in the United States? Why the crop circles appeared the most in the UK? In Brazil, we had a few cases, but the most part is in UK. So I don't know what they are here, their agenda they are here. And abduction for me is the most intriguing aspect of ufology phenomena.
yeah, and short of you being directly involved, how are we to know what this agenda is? But it's one question that sticks with me. I really want to know the answer. What is the purpose of it? There's the school of thought that it's truly nefarious, which I would actually aim towards. Right, I'm right in the middle, but going towards nefarious because if you're taking people, that's not an approved thing. And if you know humans, which they should do if they studied us, they'll know us. That's a crossing a line. So I would err more towards nefarious. But there's the school of thought that it's also a positive thing by people. Where would you stand?
I think they are here to study us. Okay. The last book of the Dr. David Jacobs is a book called Walking Among Us.
Hmm.
In this book, he tells that his patients now are saying that aliens are here to finally conquer the planet. And how they're gonna do this? Destroying the human? No. They're creating hybrids uh, or clones or a new race. They're here to create it. And instead, they get the abductees to mix DNA, human and alien. They are using now the abductees to teach this new race how to live as a human. For example, this book it's amazing. It's gonna blow your mind. I don't know if I have the opportunity to read this book, but I had the opportunity to read and talk to Dr. David Jacobs. They're planning to conquer the planet Earth, replacing the human race, let's say the roof human race, to this new race. And they have to use still have to use a little of DNA, human DNA. So what they're gonna do? The people, normal people, human being, we your life expectation is 18 years old. And this new
100 here.
100, maybe. I hope so. I hope so. Me too. This new race can live 200 years. So what is going to happen? The regular human being is going to die. And this new race, they can produce as a factory. So once die one human being, 3 of this new race can be born. So they're going to replace the human being for this new race. Why? To save the planet, to keep the balance of the universe, because we are destroying the planet.
That's a sly way of doing it, isn't it, from the inside?
Yeah. So it's the research of David Jacobs, Dr. David Jacobs. I wrote.
Yeah, he calls them hybrids, doesn't he, from memory?
Yes, and they're replacing us. They are now trying to conquer the planet without any bomb or blood. So and for example, John Mack think that the aliens were here to create another race, but to take out of this race to another planet, to keep their race of the race. They are disappear, and they lost their feeling, they lost their soul, so they're creating a new race to get that back. So even between the research, we have many different theories of the abduction.
But either way, it leads to what we would class as a terrifying outcome, because we're slowly being replaced and dying out. Or should we care because we got such a small lifespan that who gives?
Yeah, and imagine if if they are replacing us, they're replacing with a figure just like you and me, just like a human. And this being get to the president of the United States, get to the president of the UK, get to the president of Russia.
How do I know that you're not one?
We do. You don't know.
No, I don't know. You could be a replacement. Where's the original? Is he downstairs in your basement? Like,
right there. Yeah, right there, or right there.
That's your true form. Yeah. I need to know, actually, I'm going to ask you. I had this in the Koit zone later on, but I'm going to ask you now because we're on the topic. That silver one behind you, what's the story of that?
Oh, it was a gift. A friend of mine is an artist, and he makes a lot of UFO stuffs. And he put some aliens in a pot. So in that one's a big one. His name is Ashtofu.
What, the alien or your friend?
Yeah, the alien.
Okay.
My friend is Wesley. His name is Wesley.
Not Ashtofu.
And the alien's Ashtofu, and the white one right here, I bought in a city nearby here in Brasilia.
He looks like he's from Stargate.
What?
He looks like he's from that Stargate SG-1 program.
Yes. And I love this things about ufology. I have many. I wrote a book. I told you I wrote a book of 72 types of aliens, and I have all of them in a like a model. I have all of them in a model. So I like this. I like both. I have my office here, and I have no place to put anything else. So my wife always mad with me if I get more books and more stuffs. Now, you have to decide, me or the aliens. I told her, don't ask again.
Yeah, you don't know that you won't like the outcome. Did you ever watch that program Dark Skies?
Yes.
What did you think of that? Because the greys in that were quite horrible, weren't they?
Yeah, it's like X-Files. It's like X-Files. The idea could be something. Oh,
I've lost your sound.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is it one of those? Is it a tap on and
off?
Yeah. So say that again. Yeah, about the Dark Skies.
Yeah, Dark Skies. It's like X-Files, and they took the real theories, the real ideas, and then they play the whole of the series. It's a fiction. It's a fiction, and
A good one.
the Dark Eyes is like MJ12. They use more than MJ12, and the X-Files use more the abductions.
Mm. I
So
wish
they
Dark
use
Skies had continued. It was a shame that got cancelled or
yes,
stopped because it was
yes,
really good. I enjoyed
yes.
that.
Yes, I like the X Files. I have the whole collection, the old series and the two seasons. I have this, and I love it. I love it because not only aliens they use paranormal and the weird stuff like that. Dark Side is just more like
We're on the
aliens,
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 yeah.
aliens, aliens. Yeah,
I'm going to ask you now because we're on this sort of like sci-fi topic, but you're a fan of Star Wars, yeah?
yeah.
What is your favorite film of the Star Wars saga? Full stop.
Oh, the the first three movies: Return of the Jedi, Counter Empire Contra Attack, and Star Wars.
Yeah, Empire is my
What?
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, what came after for me? Well, no, no.
Apart
I'm
from
80. The 80 boy. So
yeah, me too. Did you like The Mandalorian?
I do, I do. It's cool, but I don't know. I'm old. I'm getting old. I like the old fashioned. I like the Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. I have two dogs: a male, Luke Skywalker Ticchetti, and a female, Leia Skywalker Ticchetti. So,
This is amazing. Is your wife
and
called Padme?
I wish to have yes. I almost got the third. A third gonna be Chewbacca, but three dogs is too much.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got one. He's hard enough on his own. Two's quite a handful, I suppose. So yeah, Star Wars I love with a passion, and I'm often seen walking around my area in Star Wars t-shirts and tops and stuff. But I think the Disney stuff has kind of ruined it for me a bit. It's taken
Oh,
the
they're
edge off.
ruining. Yeah, they're ruining Star Wars. They're ruining Marvel. Well, I like the Spider-Man Peter Parker. I like the Spider-Man Steve Rogers. They put. I like the Black Panther. You know, I'm
Originals,
old.
yes.
I'm told I'm old. I'm old. I like the classics. I like the classic. My son loved the Marvel. Loved the Marvel now and the old fashioned. But for me, I don't know. We are born reading the comic books, and when they come with the film, that wow, let's say the the Spider-Man is now not nothing against it, but now the Spider-Man is a Latin boy. It's not what I read when I was a kid. So don't ruin my past, please.
It's a nice plea that please don't ruin my past. Unfortunately,
Yes,
it's already done. That's the
yes,
problem. I know we're
yes.
relics
Little
of a
Mermaid,
bygone
Little
age.
Mermaid, please. Little Mermaid. Snow White. Snow White. Snow White. Please. No, nothing against it. I don't nothing against it. But we don't have to change what we have already. Why don't you create a new one?
I
It's
agree.
perfect.
I'm bang on with your thoughts on that process. And most people actually of sound mind are. They don't want everything bastardized and messed up, but hey ho. Let's go straight into how Brazil reacts as a whole. So, what do most Brazilians think about the subject?
Well, the most Brazilian they believe that we have been visited by. Well, they believe that we are not alone in the universe. What? Well, 50-50 believe that they're here and 50 don't believe that there's no technology to come to another place, but they believe almost 100% believe that we are not alone in the universe because the universe is so big, it's huge, and we are not perfect. The human being are not we are not perfect. So why God, you are, I know you are. For the most
Obviously.
part, obviously, but the most part of human, they're not perfect. So if you believe in God or a higher power, uh, that power is not so clever just to create the universe and us. They probably created another civilization, another races. So here in Brazil, we are very open-minded about that.
Is there ridicule in the press in Brazil, like there would be
Oh,
here?
in the past, yes. In the past, I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now, the subjects are getting much more seriously by the press. Yesterday, I was talking with the press about the UFO phenomena, and they like it because the people like it. The people is very curious about the subject. If you put in a headline of a newspaper, they read it, they buy it. So I think now they get very serious the subject.
That's exactly how it should be. If there's interest, pander to it.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
agree. Let's move straight into, because you've got to shoot off soon. We're going to enter the Koit zone. Koit zone. So in the Koit zone, I'm going to ask you random stupid questions just to lighten it up for the end. Okay, so we will start with, what are Brazil nuts called in Brazil?
What was what?
What are Brazil nuts called in Brazil?
Castanha.
What does that translate as? Nuts.
Brazil nuts.
Oh,
Nuts.
it is Brazil nuts. Okay. Fair
Brazil
play.
nuts. Castanha.
Castanha. Oh, lovely.
Castanha.
Eggs. How do you prefer them cooked?
Oh, boil it.
Boiled eggs. And are you
Yeah.
soft yolk or hard yolk?
Soft. Soft.
Correct.
Soft.
10 points to you.
With bread. Bread.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With butter on it, yeah?
Yes. I live in
Win.
England, my friend.
Yeah, you have you?
Yeah, I live in
Ah,
Yellowstone.
you know the score. Okay, so you're asked to sacrifice a part of your body to science, which once removed would actually help heal loads of people. A, would you do it? And what is the body part that you could live without?
It's gonna be a small part, a bigger part,
That's
any
up to
part.
you. You can
Oh, a
choose.
finger, a finger.
You're losing the little one, yeah? So you're losing the little
Yes,
finger. Okay, and you would do it?
yes, sure,
Fair
of
play to
course.
you. Okay, what is the best skill you possess?
Oh, I think I'm funny. I think people like me because I always make jokes.
Good. Quality. That's a good one because most people, when I ask that question, and I don't always ask it, but when I do, they always say like a physical activity. You've gone down the character route, which is a nice answer,
Yes,
so fair play.
I don't have enemies, so I think people likes me.
Excellent. That's how you should be. What is the best smell in the world?
Oh, baby smell.
Somebody else has said that recently. That's amazing.
Baby smell. When you have babies, the little one, wow, the baby smell. It's amazing.
It's from the
It's
head though,
unforgettable.
yeah, not from the butt area.
No, this is the body of the when after the bath, after the bath.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It's
know the
amazing.
smell you mean. Yeah. What is the best place you've ever been?
Mm, mm, mm. Um, oh, as a place to visit. Um, let's say Peru.
Peru. Okay, cool. Do you have any talents that could be considered paranormal?
Oh, no, but I saw that people.
So you do then, if you've seen dead people.
I saw that people sometimes.
Really? Well, we'll save
Really,
that for
I
the future. Then I want to know that story.
perfect.
Are animals reincarnated people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. I think so. Mainly, I think dogs. I think dogs because dogs so look like people. I have two, so I think probably yes.
Cool. And last one here. If you could click your fingers and erase one music style from existence, what would it be?
funk music in Brazil. It's a different funk from the United States. The funk music in Brazil, I don't like it.
Cool. We'll get rid of that. You know, earlier when you said you had no enemies, all the funk people now hate you.
Now I have enemies.
Yeah, you have loads and loads of funk-based enemies. Thiago, thank you ever so much for your time today. It is much appreciated. Anyone who's watching this, check out the links in the description to all of his socials and sites and books, etc., etc. Thank you ever so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Koit. Thank you very much, everybody.
Excellent. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
To watch other KoitCast episodes, please click the image top left. To subscribe to my channel, please click the image top right. Please like and share to help KoitCast grow, and most importantly of all, please click the notification bell so you never miss an upload.